All right, so the market is in shambles. Okay, it's in shambles. But before we talk about how bad the market is, I just want you guys to kind of appreciate the camera quality. Okay, because right now I'm not using my webcam anymore. I actually bought a new digital camera. It was kind of like a gift from my parents for my kind of early birthday gift sort of thing. You know, pretty happy about this gift. Of course, afterwards I kind of bought a lot of lenses and such to upgrade. So yeah, I actually intend to put in a little bit more budget into this for me to upgrade some of my hardware and such, in order for me to actually give you guys more content, good information about the market. Okay, but anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about the market. Okay, kind of crazy. If you look at your SPY, okay, which is your S&P, or you look at your NASDAQ, which is your QQQ, okay, you have seen that in the past week or so, everything is falling down. Okay, and of course, a lot of that we would like to push it all over to the Jackson Hole Symposium, the Wyoming conference call, which with Fed Chair Jerome Powell saying that he is going to be incredibly hawkish. He is not going to be stopping getting rid of inflation. But in other news, because I'm pretty sure I've already covered enough of that on my channel on its own. Okay. Aside from that, if you actually look at different companies, a lot of companies are actually starting to lay off employees. Okay. And one company that I'm going to be talking a lot about today would be Snapchat. Okay. Just to give you guys like a little heads up, next week on the Wednesday, I'll be uploading a video letting you guys know that for the next few videos is going to be a portfolio dive into my own portfolio sort of thing, where I actually talk about all the different companies in more specific details, so that if you're interested in those companies, you can actually just watch those videos. I already pre-recorded some of them because I'll be going on a holiday with my family over to London and also Portugal, just for like about 14 days or so, a little under 2 weeks, under 2 weeks trip. So I'll be back and I'll continue making videos from there. Okay, but I already pre-recorded some of them, so if you're interested in that, just stay tuned for all those videos. It's going to be out every Wednesday and every Saturday. Okay, but anyway, let's talk about Snapchat. Okay, Snapchat laid off 1,300 employees on Tuesday, I think. On Tuesday, Snapchat laid off 1,300 employees, and of course, after hearing that 1,300 employees were being laid off, okay, people basically sold off Snapchat. Snapchat was basically down about like I think 15% or so in the aftermarket. I saw Snapchat went all the way down to about $9. No, actually, it went down to $8.80. Okay, but that was after I bought into it. Kind of scary a little bit, but okay, I'm going to talk more about that. But anyway, what actually happened was because of the whole laying off situation that actually happened. Okay, two of the advertising managerial role actually moved over to Netflix. Okay, which of course, evidently, we already understand that Netflix is going to be going through with the whole advertising based model for the cheaper alternative to the Netflix streaming services and such. Okay, so having the ads, the ads, advertising experts going over to Netflix is definitely going to be better for Netflix. But for Snapchat, on the other hand, they kind of lost two important talents for them, especially for how Snapchat is so dependent on ads revenue and such. So it's very, very important for Snapchat. But of course, evidently, because of that, the market shares for Snapchat kind of went down. Okay. So in the pre-market, when I actually saw that Snapchat was at about $9 or so, about $9.50 or so. So I was like thinking, you know what? I'm still quite bullish on Snapchat in the next 5 years or so. I'm looking at the DAOs. I'm looking at the DAOs as in like the DAUs. I'm looking at the MAUs. Okay, I feel that the time spent on the app is actually relatively strong. Of course, we're not talking about a competitor like your TikTok or your Meta platforms with your Facebook and your Instagram. But I do think that Snapchat do hold a very, very specific age range where they will not actually go to all the other apps as much. Okay, so I think that Snapchat actually play an integral role for all this. So ad revenue actually works out very well for Snapchat. Of course, Snapchat also came up alongside with the laying off the 1,300 employees. They said that they are going to have an extended period of time where they might have very, very low profit margin, which I think that was also kind of expected. As it is, we already have, I think, 3 warnings from Snapchat as it is. So in general, social media apps, all the social media stocks, be it your Twitter, your Meta platforms, your Pinterest, all of them basically got a little bit hit by it, but not superbly crazy, unlike Snapchat on its own, because Snapchat was the only one that actually laid off that many employees. But I think that we are currently in the market cycle right now, where laying people off isn't exactly that crazy anymore. Okay, especially after the first round of laying off. I think that was when I was thinking, yeah, I don't see that as a huge issue anymore for not just Snapchat. It's going to be for all the tech companies. It's because all the tech company, they came out too quickly and they went too big. Okay, they were mass hiring because money was cheap. Okay, you had all the stimulus in the market. Okay, the entire market was so stimulated that everyone just kept on hiring and hiring and hiring. Okay, and now after doing the mass level of hiring, we have to do all the firing. Okay, it's normal market cycles in my eyes. So I thought that, nothing crazy. And because of that, I actually bought an additional 150 shares of Snapchat at $9.21. Okay, I bought this in pre-market. And of course, those actually failed. And, I actually got an additional 150 shares of Snapchat. I'm happy about it, okay, because the thing is that right after that happened, I do not know why, but when the market opened, Snapchat basically just shot all the way to $11. Okay, kind of like a meme movement. I do not know why. Okay, but to me, I don't really care if it's a meme movement. I don't care if it's a momentum play. I don't care if people think that it's a short squeeze. Okay, personally, I think that Snapchat is a pretty good company in the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, and because of that, I will continue staying in Snapchat. Okay, Snapchat is actually one of the rare companies that I did not really sell that much of. I only sold one time in Snapchat. Out of my entire history with Snapchat, I only sold one time, and it was, I think, about 200 shares of it, because I needed. I felt that I wanted to get out of Snapchat a little bit. I just wanted to snip off a little bit, trim off my shares, and then get into something else. But then afterwards, I kept on buying back again. Okay, so Snapchat wise, I don't think I was much of a trader on that. I was pretty much quite bullish into Snapchat for quite some time. Okay, so afterwards, after buying into Snapchat, basically Snapchat just went all the way up. Okay, they went up another 10%. After recovering the 15%, they even went up another 10% in the open market. Okay, afterwards they kind of went back down to I think they ended by 8% on above market. The next day they went up by another 10 more percent. So it's kind of crazy. Right now, Snapchat is currently at $11.52. Right now, the market is not even in pre-market. Right now, it's about 3:50 p.m. at the moment, as I'm recording this on a Friday. Okay, so yeah. Because of that, I'm not sure how Snapchat is going to move. Okay, if Snapchat wants to just suddenly go to $18 or whatever, I don't care. Sure, go right ahead. I don't really care, because for me, Snapchat is something that I will still hold. Okay, I bought at $60, I bought at $50, I bought at $30, I bought at $15, I bought at $10, and I bought at $9. Okay, so of course, if you actually hear how I'm doing all this, it's kind of crazy how I'm basically losing a lot of money on this. But of course, for the amount of Snapchat shares that I do have, I've also been consistently selling calls and just farming the premium on those. I already made a few $1,000s from just selling the calls on Snapchat, so I'm pretty happy about those. Okay, but anyway, that aside, I don't want to make this too Snapchat-esque as a topic, but I want to talk about the overall market, because Snapchat is not big enough of the market to actually dictate how the market is going to be moving. But funnily enough, when Snapchat came out with a a profit warning, that profit warning alone was able to crash Meta platforms, Pinterest, Twitter, a little bit of all your tech companies all at once. And it was just one profit warning from Snapchat alone. And that was kind of crazy, because I thought that at that point of time, that was when I felt even more bullish about Snapchat. Because at some point, I do feel that there's a possibility that Snapchat might become irrelevant. Okay, and that's a lot of time. That's my biggest concern, especially for a social media app. Okay, a social media app that becomes irrelevant is going to be the biggest danger in its own, on its own. Okay, so the fact that when a profit warning comes out from Snapchat and every other tech company basically just dropped 5%, I realized that I am not entirely wrong on Snapchat. I feel that if anything, I am actually quite right on Snapchat. Okay, if anything, Snapchat is actually showing some form of a market leader. Okay, of course, this might not be a good thing, because Snapchat was the lost leader in this case. But at the same time, I don't really care about that because I felt that the Snapchat was actually giving a lot of signals for the entire market to actually just sell off or even buy into the market. So personally, I just think that that's one of the reasons why I'm bullish in the Snapchat. But of course, just stay tuned. I don't know when is the Snapchat video gonna come out. I think it's probably gonna come out on the Saturday that I leave. So yeah, probably next week. I'm not sure. I forgot my upload schedule for that. But yeah, I'm gonna be uploading all the different stocks that I'm into. Okay, those are my stocks portfolio dive for people who are very interested in the companies that I'm buying into. Okay, but anyway, that's kind of like the whole Snapchat stuff. But so yeah, so now that you're looking in the market right now, I talked to a few of my friends. I talked to a few of you guys actually, who actually watched my video and talked about how you're thinking that maybe you should be bearish in the market. Okay, I know one of my friends is becoming a bear in the market, which I don't think is completely bad. But of course, if you want to be a bear in the market, okay, if you want to hold touch options, okay, it's going to be tough if you want to touch options or you want to touch swaps. Okay, I think swaps are fine as an overall. If you're not doing swaps on stocks, like individual stocks, I think you should be fine. If you're doing swaps on ETFs and such, I do think people are doing that, especially for like SARC, SARC, or if you're doing like SQQQ, or you're doing like there's another one for gold. I forgot the swaps for gold. Okay, so if you're doing swaps for all these so-called like bigger commodities or bigger overall basket of funds, I think those are all fine. Okay, because your risk level probably wouldn't be that huge anyway, and that's all right because you're basically just hedging in the market. But personally, I think I've been quite frank with you guys as well. I was short in the market. I was a bear, okay, which is why I still leave this out a little bit. But right now, I'm almost fully bullish in the market at the moment. Other than like a few sold call option, which are going to be expiring worthless, so I'm going to get a full premium for free. But other than those, I'm basically all in the market. Okay, because what I realized is that being a bear in the market is very, very tiring. Okay, of course, it's good that you earn money when the market is down, but when everyone is cheering because the market is up, you're the only one that's gonna be stuck, just feeling, ah, damn it, I should have went. I should have been bullish in the market, and that's the kind of like mentality. It's very tiring because you seem to always be in the minority of things. Okay, but I realized that it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, we are just all trying to earn a little bit of money. Okay, so yeah, because of that, I do think that it was tiring for me to become a bear. But afterwards, I basically was like, you know what? I don't want to think too much about it. I want to just get into the market. So I started to just pick up shares and just keep on doing that. Okay, so I just basically took on a very aggressive bullish position on a lot of different stocks that I already owned before. I just want to increase my exposure to them and such. Yeah, so because of that, I evidently became more of a bull now. And from there, of course, I still do not see the market environment becoming exceptionally better. Hence, why I have not really properly shaved off the whole entire thing. The moment when you actually see a video where it's it is completely shaven off, yeah, chances are then you would know that I think that the market seems to be looking a lot better from there on out. But yeah, until then, I do think that the market still have a lot of headwinds. Personally speaking, I actually thought that the market didn't really have a lot of headwinds to begin with. I did not really think the whole Jerome Powell situation in the Jackson Hole Symposium was going to be such a big headwind for the entire market, where the SPY dropped by 4%, Dow Jones dropped 1,000 points. That was so crazy. Like the entire market lost about $70 billion or so. And the worst part is that Jerome Powell did not even say something new. He was basically just reiterating whatever he already said in multiple FOMC meetings. So I'm not sure why the market sold off as well. I'm just very, very clueless about it. I'm not sure. But yeah, because that market is pretty dangerous at the moment. You're going to be in choppy waters. Be it you are a bull or you're a bear, the market is going to be quite interesting in the next few weeks or so. Like I said before, I think that the next few things that we do need to look out for will most likely be going to be your CPI and your FOMC. That's going to be happening in September. Okay, so those are going to be your key events that's going to be happening. But sadly, for those events, I'll be overseas. But if I am able to do a recording on my phone and just upload it without a thumbnail, maybe I'll do that. But until then, I'm not sure how that is going to work out. But yeah, hopefully I'm able to actually upload something for you guys, and also for myself, because I kind of want to digest the information and kind of put something out for the CPI content and such. But anyway, that's all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoy this kind of content and you enjoy the amount of commitment I have to you, I'm upgrading my whole camera. Hey man, drop a like and also subscribe to my channel. Anyway, if that's all, and I'll see you guys